Okay, so going into Tron Ares, I'd heard a lot of very negative things, but I remained optimistic. And now, being on the other side of that, now that I have seen the film, I honestly loved this film. Now, really diving into the thing that I feel like everybody can agree upon, whether you gave it half star on Letterboxd or you gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd, this movie looks awesome. It gives you that very distinct style, gives you that Tron experience and that visual flair that is synonymous with the franchise. And now I was a little bit nervous that some of that visual style would get lost in translation between the grid and the real world, but luckily that doesn't happen here, as they're able to mesh it very well, and we get that nice balance of action in the grid and in the real world to where it feels very balanced, and it doesn't feel like you're getting one more than the other, or one is being neglected than the other. And I'm glad that they brought it into the real world. I kind of feel like it was the natural next step for this universe, because I mean, there's this technology out there, right? I mean, obviously, people are going to try doing some odd stuff, but people are going to try exploiting it, right? So it only makes sense. Like, they're using it to try implementing it into the military and stuff like that. Or they're trying to use it to make resources. Like, obviously, it's going to end up being exploited, and that's going to have consequences, which is what we see in this film. And now, just covering the big elephant in the room, Jared Leto. I mean, say what you want about Jared Leto, and there is a lot to say, but he gives a really good performance in this film. If you know some of the behind the scenes stuff, you know that Jared Leto is actually a Tron fan. So seeing his kind of fandom of the Tron franchise on display in this film is very nice to see, as he does a good job playing this AI who is slowly becoming human over the course of the film. And now that is so overdone in Hollywood now that when it's done well, it really stands out, because it's done so much now. It's basically just become a parody of itself. But, you know, Jared Leto does it really good here, so it's worth talking about. Even beyond that, Greta Lee and Evan Peters play the leader of Encom and the Dillinger Corporation in this film. Two companies are butting heads, trying to figure out what to do with the grid. Where the Dillinger Corporation, you have Evan Peters' character, Julian, who's trying to basically turn it into a force for war, the military. And I think his character is really well done, where I feel like he could have easily have came off undeveloped or just bratty and annoying. Where, you know, oh, he's this Nepo baby that's taking over the company. Oh, he's super annoying. But Evan Peters is able to play him in such a way that he doesn't come off like that. He genuinely comes off as a businessman that is just super out of his depth. And then you go over to Encom, where you have Greta Lee's character, who, after her younger sister passed away from cancer, she basically took over Encom and tried to run it in her name, trying to use the grid to create resources and use it for good. But overall, it's a theme of just exploiting resources, which, like, whether it is to create food or it is to create war, it's still exploiting something that was made for a single use of just like creating games and things like that with Encom, and then got exploited to do all these other different things. I think that's very interesting. And the action is wonderful. And the 9 Inch Nails score is so much fun. It's so great. And like whenever it just swells and then you just fully hear it, whether it's in an action sequence or a transition, it's always welcome. I know I'm not saying it's Daft Punk, Tron Legacy levels of great, but it's certainly up there. And when you are in the grid, it's really fun. You're not in there a whole lot. I mean, you're barely in the grid whatsoever. Most of it is in the real world, which I like. I think it feels very fresh. I'm very happy that we did get some time in the grid, but we also got some time in the real world, because I feel like if it just fully stayed in the grid, it kind of just would have felt just kind of like a rerun of a lot of the things we saw in Tron Legacy, where that one was fully in the grid, and it was awesome. If this one had stayed fully in the grid again, I don't know if it would have worked as well or would have been as memorable as it is, since they bring it into the real world. Well, they also have that little touch of the grid that just is just very nice to see. And just the action, I think, is a particular standout here, where I think it's actually might be an improvement over Legacy, where like there's this one sequence where they're hacking into NCOM, so this group from the Dillinger Corporation on the grid, led by Jared Leto's character, they go out and they try to basically steal this information. This is where it basically kicks off the arc of Jared Leto's character, Ares, trying to become human. And it's just a sequence, a lot of really great action, and then you have the 9 Inch Nails score that just adds to it. So honestly, I think this is the best in the trio of our Tron films. And yeah, that really is about it. I accidentally dropped the thing I was using to record. So yeah, that really is about it. I really enjoyed this film. It has a lot of the awesome action and that Tron experience, but also gives you the time to breathe with the characters and the story, which I thought was very nice. And yeah, it really is about it. See ya.